Hey guys. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday, happy Thursday. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Y'all already know. As I say each and every Thursday, we have the activities of our limbs. We ain't in nobody's hospital. We ain't in nobody's jail. And it's a great day to be alive. I'm so super excited. I missed y'all so much. Y'all miss me? I missed y'all. Listen, we're going to have a great show today because I want to talk about what's next, right? You know, we oftentimes get stuck in a rut because we're always trying to figure out, okay, what's my next move? What am I going to be doing next? What should I be doing next? And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. I'm your host, Jaja. And I love y'all so much. I missed y'all so much. I hope y'all are doing well and blessed and amazing and that you are protecting your family. But what's next? And so, you know, I'm always talking to God and telling him, you know, to give me the 411 like Mary J. Blige. Because I be trying to figure out what's going on in the world. So I need him to talk to me so I can figure out how I need to move. You know what I'm saying? And not only how I need to move, but how I need to educate and give you a strategy on how you need to move as well. So if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know y'all heard me the first time, right? So dig this. We're talking about what's next. And so, you know, oftentimes I have been in positions where I have been stuck. I've been stuck and I wasn't able to move forward. It's like a car in neutral, right? It'll move with a little bit of push, but it really won't go as far as it can because it's in neutral. And, you know, when I was 17, I had my son, my senior year in high school, and I got stuck. I got stuck because, you know, we think we should be somewhere in our lives according to our time frame. You know, we should be married and have children by the age of 30, and we should, you know, be college graduates, and, you know, we should do, you know, when you're 17 and young and you think you got life planned out, and then life has a way of switching directions, and you oftentimes can't just go with the flow. But you have to figure out, okay, what is happening in my world right now? And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We're talking about what's next. And so the thing about it is that what's next consists of protecting yourself, protecting you. You are your greatest asset. Not your car, not your house, not your bundles, not your relationships. You. Who I say? You, me. I am my greatest asset. I am my greatest asset. The thing that God gave me in between these two ears is my greatest asset. I can create anything that I want to create in my world to make it a reality. It's not just about manifestation, but it's about understanding that we are all energies. We are all higher beings. We are all higher powers. And the way that you protect yourself is by cutting ties. Sometimes you're going to have to cut ties with people that you've been friends with for years. And see, that is the issue when it comes to familiarity, is that we think we are obligated to be connected to certain people because we've known them for so long. There's a lot of people that have known me for 20 years, 30 years, all my life. And it doesn't mean that I don't love them. It doesn't mean that I wish bad upon them. It just means that you got to learn who to cut out of your life and who to keep. And you have to learn it's okay when somebody walks away. You know, my bishop, shout out to Bishop J. Drew Shear, the Greater Emmanuel, he always talks about, you know, Fantasia. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Free yourself, okay? Yeah, I said it, okay? Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Free yourself. Because when you are begging people to stay in your life, all you're doing is hurting you. You're prolonging your blessings. You're prolonging your process. And some of you have not gotten to the place where you want to be when it comes to being stable and having the love of your life and the relationships that you want and what your heart desires, because God knows your heart. But the thing about it is that you won't let some things go. And I had to learn to cut ties. And I had to learn to cut ties from people who remember Jaja when she was 17. I had to cut ties from people that remembered me from what I used to be, or what I used to do, and who I used to be with, because those people have not elevated their vision outside of where they want to keep you. See, some people want to keep you at the little girl that they remember you as. They want to keep you as the little chunky boy that used to eat the Snickers on the side of the bed. They want to keep you as, the woman that was divorced, or the woman that had a bunch of kids. They want to keep you there. They never want to see you in the light in which you see yourself. That's why you got to be careful of who you share your vision with. That's why you got to be careful of who you share your intimacies with, you pillow talking with, you kicking it with. You got to be careful of who and what you share with certain people. And the thing about it is that cutting ties is not to hurt anybody. I had to unfriend over 180 people. It wasn't because I hate any of them. It wasn't because I didn't like any of them, some of them. But it was because I needed to make more room. I needed to make more room for like-minded people. I needed to make room for new followers and new relationships. Because just because I went to school with you, that doesn't mean that I have to stay connected to you. And that is one of the things that you can do to protect yourself. And not only that, but you want to keep people around and keep certain people around. Back in the day, they had a saying that says, keep your enemies close, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And see, the thing about that is that you'll have friends that will watch you come up. You'll have friends that will remind you of where you come from. And then you'll have friends that will hold you accountable. And you got to be mindful of what category these people fit in your life. Because everybody isn't going to be accustomed to the new life that you live. It's like an alcoholic or a drug addict who no longer wants to drink or no longer wants to do drugs. And all of their friends are crackheads and alcoholics. Every day they hung out at the liquor store, at the gas station, panhandling. And then the time frame where you decide that you want to change your life, now you got to find new friends. Now you got to find new places to go, because you can't go to where you used to go because you're trying to become something better. It doesn't mean that the people that you used to drink with or the people you used to smoke crack with are bad people. The people you used to go to the club with and hang out with and turn up with and share your cigarettes with and hang out after church with doesn't mean that they're bad people. It just means that now God has called you to do something different. And you got to be okay with that. And you say, Jaja, what we talking about today? Well, what we're talking about is what's next. If you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. What's next? Because in this season that we're going into, our families are going to have to be strong. They're hanging black people. They see that we're becoming empowered. They see that we're waking up and paying attention to stuff that we already knew years and years ago, but now it is coming into fruition and action. See, it's one thing to talk about it, but it's a whole nother ball game to be about it. See, I grew up raised by a single mother, and she didn't have no choice but to be about it because she had 7 children depending on her. And unfortunately, being a single mother raising children, you oftentimes lean on that oldest child to help compensate when there's not another parent in the household. That's why family is so important. And I talked about this last week when I dropped the Father's Day and the Juneteenth Jubilee edition video about our men leading within our families. So let me tell y'all something. Ain't nothing like a black man, honey. Why y'all think y'all such a hot commodity to kill? Such a hot commodity to mate with? Such a hot commodity to emulate? Such a hot commodity to run up and down the field and down the court and hip hops and jip jop and trendsetters and music? You're a hot commodity. Your DNA is worth millions. That's why they was kidnapping us, selling our body parts. See, I don't want you all to get so caught up with what's happening in reality TV that you don't understand what's happening in reality. And in reality, the reality of it is that our families and our homes are broken. There are more single parent homes in our household than there are families with a husband and a wife and a man and a woman, because that creates balance. Now, I ain't saying, you want to be a switch hitter, do your thing. You want to be a tambourine player and you want to switch and stay on the same side, do you. But one thing that I know, two things for certain, is that you can't make electricity with 2 plugs and 2 sockets. You need a socket and a plug to make some electricity. And you also got to be able to be fruitful and multiply. And I'm not saying that you can't have no baby if you're gay, transsexual, any of those things. But what I am saying is that the way that it was formulated to happen, you need a socket and you need a plug. Okay? So with that being said, excuse me, you got to build the family structure. Ladies, it's okay to let your guard down. It's okay to be a little softer. One of the things that I learned about my ex-husband and throughout dating, I was such a Joy Rose Jaja like that it was hard for me to tap into my, my ladylike side, my cutesy side, where it's like, oh, because I was so used to being the oldest and delegating and having to make instant decisions and making sure that, I wasn't being screwed over by the man or the black man for that matter, or any man for that matter, because women are not protected like we should be. Any black woman in your life, whether it's your baby mama, your ex-girlfriend, your mama, your grandmama, your auntie, your cousins, your homegirls, any woman that you are attached to as a man, you are obligated to protect her. You are obligated. Yeah, we make you mad, fellas. Okay? That's what we do. No, it ain't what we supposed to do. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the women that get on all the men's nerves. Okay? We can't help it. You see, we took the apple and gave it to Adam. We always doing something. But the thing about it is giving each other, excuse me, enough grace to say, okay, I'm going to learn to be accountable. I'm going to learn that this love that we're building is worth something. And see, so many couples fail because they don't see the value in what they're building. Excuse me, y'all. Put some perfume on. And then it got down in my throat, trying to get in my esophagus. Get out of there. But the thing about it is about black love is that so many people want it, but they're not willing to work for it. And what I mean by work, we see work and we think negative. Work. Work. But black love doesn't have to be work, hard work. It just takes work. It takes people willing to put their pride aside and their ego aside and be vulnerable. It's nothing like a man being able to lay with his woman, his wife, his lover, and to have pillow talk and to talk about his desires and his future and what he seeks. And see, women, sometimes you got to shut up and you got to listen to that man. Even though he may not know what he's talking about, he gonna come back and circle back around, and he gonna tell you, well, you was right, because usually we are. And the thing about it is that you have to give him that grace to lead. There are so many women that are great leaders. I'm a great leader, but I also understand the value and the power of having my man lead me. It doesn't mean that I can't lead and stand beside him and we walk together. It just means that I have to understand that he's leading me somewhere. And that's why you got to be careful of who you date. See, a lot of times we are so caught up in wanting that black love that we're not willing to be that black love for ourselves first. You cannot expect that man to make you happy if you're not already happy about yourself. That's why it's called self-love. That's why it's called self-esteem. That's why it's called self-confidence. You got to have that stuff before you get with somebody else, because all you're going to do is become dependent upon them making you feel better. Buy me this, do this for me, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And when they don't come through, now you feel like, oh, they don't love me, they don't care about me. But there are some things that you got to work on in order for you to get that black love. Not only that, but you got to kick it up a notch. It's 2020. Some of the stuff you was doing in 1994, 2000, 2003, the way you was living, you can't live that way no more. You've been trifling all your life and you still gonna be trifling? I had to sip my tea on that one. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it. We're talking about what's next. You gonna have to kick it up a notch. And fellas, you gonna have to kick it up a whole bunch of notches. See, Women, we're leading in professional industries. We're leading in industries, millionaires. We're the leading entrepreneurs right now. And it's not that men don't have entrepreneurial spirits. It's that they don't have a motivating factor to get them there. Yeah, they want the money. But see, a lot of people that look like you and me, they want the fast money. They want the quick money. They want the money that's going to get them where they need to go and do what they need to do. But like I say in every last one of my videos, we all could be millionaires if we really sat down. If you really sat down with some scammers and they scheme and they get all this money, why didn't you go buy a property? Why didn't you go buy a building, an apartment building, so at least when your scamming ran out, you had something substantial to have? But no, you went and got fresh. You went and bought up all the white tees. You went and got all the Yeezys. You went and got Jordans. Some of you all don't even have life insurance, but you got a plethora of Jordans along your wall. Every color. Some of you got about $5,000, $10,000 worth of Jordans right now in your house. But if you die tomorrow, what your kids gonna do? So I often ask myself, what is it that you really want out of life? And if you're tuning in, we're talking about what's next, and you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. Make sure you share this video, guys. It's very important. Because as we continue to kick it up a notch, we got to learn to stop being haters. Ain't nothing wrong with sharing my video. It ain't going to kill you. It ain't going to kill you. If anything, it's going to help you, and it's going to help the people that's connected to you, so you don't feel like you're the only person that's going to make it in your circle. Because sometimes it takes hearing it from somebody else so that it can stick. My mama used to say a lot of things, but it wasn't until my mentor, Miss Champion, or Dr. James, or Philanda Asaka, or Miss Woods, or Miss Humphreys, or a friend or a family would say the very thing that my mama had already said. But I needed to hear from another set of ears and another mouth. And the thing about it is that not only do we got to get back to black families and black structure, but we got to get to black excellence. Black excellence. You guys, I hosted an Emmy party this past weekend. I hosted Juneteenth Jubilee along my main man's D-Hobbs. Shout out to D-Hobbs. Shout out to Sharia Ayers. Shout out to Felicia Wilson and her whole amazing staff and family, and my cousin Nuki and my cousin Marsha, who put together this amazing event. But my passion and my purpose is to speak life. My passion and my purpose is to host events. I do this with my eyes closed. And see, in order for us to get to black excellence, you got to recognize when black excellence is in the room. We got to stop being haters. We are the biggest haters of ourselves. That's why it's easier for other ethnicities to treat us the way that they treat us, because we haven't held each other at a higher standard. When I'm around my girlfriends and my homegirls and my female friends, I ain't hating on them. I'm bigging them up. Girl, you look cute. Honey, baby hairs is laid. Lip gloss is popping. Oh, okay, I like that outfit. Okay, I see you out here in these streets, because that's the vibe that I'm on. My homegirl says all the time, positive vibes only. And see, the thing about it is that anybody that's not producing those positive vibes in your life, they're taking those vibes away. I was at this Emmy Award event, and you guys saw my little yellow, little cute dress that I got. Shout out to Charvay Burt at Fashion Passport. Make sure you go and patronize. And she blessed me with that dress. I went in there to go get one outfit to go support a sister, okay? Black lives matter. Black businesses matter too. But I went in there to go get one outfit, y'all. And I ended up coming out with a whole wardrobe. But she blessed me with that dress because I was telling her what I was going to go do. And the thing about it is when there's black excellence in the room, you got to keep that same energy. Stop being haters. That's one of the reasons why you ain't going to be able to move in this next season of your life, because you hate too much. And you say, well, you thinking because you don't verbally hate that it ain't in your mind and in your heart? God knows and sees all. See, the difference between you and me and God is that we look at people on the outside, but God looks at the heart. He knows what's in that heart of yours. You can pretend and punk fake all you want to. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. You can punk fake all you want to, but God knows what's in that heart. He knows what's in that intention. He know how you moving. He know that jealous spirit. He know that hating spirit that you got on you. And that's why you got to get it in check. It don't mean that we don't all have it. It just means that you got to check it. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? Because hating is bad for your health. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Because when you keep that energy you end up at a crossroad. You end up at a crossroad that says, okay, I want to be excellent. I want to be a woman or a man of integrity. But now you got to stand on that word. Now you got to stand on you. Now you got to eat the words that you put out there. You know, my mama used to say, now you got to lie in the bed that you made. And see, that's why you got to be careful of how you deal with people. I was talking to a great friend earlier today, and I said, karma doesn't have an expiration date. That's why you got to be careful of how you move and how you deal with people. And if you are wrong, be a woman and a man of integrity and of value and say, my bad, my brother. That was my mistake. See, it's easier for us to recognize the wrong in somebody else before we recognize the wrong in our own eyes. And see, and just like in the Bible in Matthew 13, Jesus was out on the shore. He was kicking and chilling, and then he ended up going out into the ocean because so many people started coming around him. And he started kicking it with these people, right? He on the ocean. And so Jesus like, dang, there's a whole bunch of people out here. Let me go get in this boat. So he goes and get in this boat, right? This Matthew 13. He go and he get in this boat and he chilling and he kicking it with the people. And he's giving them this parable, right? He chopping it up with the people. He telling them about how seeds fall on rocky ground. And every week I come and I say, yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I give you and I partake knowledge and understanding and wisdom. And I give it to you in an entertaining, inspiring way. And so some people, they'll get excited about the things that I say. But then it goes in one ear and out the other, and they go back to the lifestyle that they're living. And they want to know why they're not producing good fruit. And then there are some people that get on here and they say, man, Jaja, you was doing your thing. Man, I heard everything you was saying, man. I'm going to go and I'm going to go try it. So they go and they go try it. But it didn't last long because it wasn't rooted and grounded in them. And that's why you got to make sure that you're a woman and a man of your word and your integrity, because when people go back and they look at your life, it got to align with the things that you say. It doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes, because I'm the first one to say, listen, all have sinned. I have sinned. I'm a big sinner. I have sinned a lot more than you think I have. And I give God glory and praise for his grace and his mercy. Because if you really was to tell the truth about some of the stuff that you've been into and some of the stuff that you done got down in, man, people will be looking at you like, for real? But that's the beauty in his grace. And then Jesus goes on to say, he says, well, you know, some people fall on ground and it sprouts up and it's choked. That means that it tried to grow, it tried to get strong, but it got the life choked out of them from worry and disappointments and stress and trauma and life's experiences. And now you just can't deal with life. You can't go back to what Jaja said about black love and Black lives matter and black businesses matter and finding your purpose and doing things with grace and excellence because you've let life get in the way of it. And then there are some people that are going to listen to me and they're going to apply what I'm saying to them. And then they'll see their lives move in a certain manner. Take away that I'm Jaja Hubbard and just listen to my words. Take away the beauty of the face and listen to what I'm saying so that it can be rooted. See, one of the reasons why we can say we have favorite teachers or people that inspired us is because something was partaken in our spirit that left an impression. There are people that we're going to come across in life that we're going to meet and we'll remember them. They may just be a face. They may just be an encounter. But then there are some people that you don't forget. There are some people that you can be 50 years old and you'll still remember them. You can be married, grandkids, great-grandkids, and you remember that second grade teacher. I'm one of those people that's your second grade teacher. That if you listen and then you follow the directions and the steps that's been given, you'll live a prosperous life. See, when Jesus was out there on the shore talking to these people in that boat, he was saying that the people that listen, not just hearers of the word, but doers as well, they're going to reap a harvest that's 30, 60, 100-fold, getting paid. Getting paid. Some of you all This is the most money you probably didn't have from unemployment. This is the most consistent you've had. Some of you have jobs or careers, and this is probably the most profitable season of your life. And then for some of you, it has been gut-wrenching. You don't know what you're going to do from month to month, from day to day. And the thing about it is, if you're tuning in, you're listening to, yeah, I said it before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We're talking about what's next. What's next? Because our world is forever changing. You don't believe me? Look at the TV. It went from a big box that sat on the floor and you had to get up and change the channel, to then they created the remote and you didn't have to move. And then they went from creating the remote and the big TV to now they got the TV with the swivel on it. Then they went from the TV with the swivel on it to the TV on the wall, to the TV on the wall, to the TV that curves, to now you can hook the computer up to the TV. Now you can take the TV to the computer, to the computer, to the TV. And if you don't think that that's enough, think about the people who had to put their food in the oven. And then here comes the microwave. Then you think about the oven to the microwave and everything in between. It went from I want to go out and mingle to now all I got to do is click an app. And now I can date whoever I want to date on the app. So the world is changing. And if you're not careful, you'll look up and you'll miss it. You'll miss opportunities. You'll miss situations to do better with your life because you're stuck. And see, I had to learn to get unstuck from the 17-year-old little girl that had a child before her time frame. And see, sometimes life can get us in a rut and it causes us to get stuck and we don't know which way that we're going to go. But the thing about it is that you do that through protecting your space, building your structure. You do that through prayer and asking God to direct your path. And see, the thing about it is that we love turning up and we will have relationships with everybody else but God. And then you want to know why you keep running into brick walls. You have a little success for a little bit, and then you run into a brick wall. Then you have a little success, but you'll run right back into that brick wall. And you're saying, well, Jaja, why can't I just bust through that thing and just drive? It's like a horse. It's like a horse that's been trained, beat down, taped up, getting ready. I used to watch horse matches and ice skating in the Olympics. I'm a big fan of all that kind of stuff, you know. Like basketball and football is nice, but I like watching other things that everybody else ain't watching. But one of the things that I noticed about the horses when they race, they have these blinders on and they're in these stables, and they have this little rabbit. Ooh, that scared the crap out of me. They have these little rabbits that run, and they have this little machine. And this little machine has this track, and that's your goals, that's your vision. And once you get out of those stables and they blow that horn, that horse has these blinders on, and the blinders that they have on causes you to follow that path, to seek out that path in that direction. And that's how you got to be in this season. You got to have your blinders on. You got to. Because if you don't have your blinders on, you're going to get caught up in a situation that causes you to not be focused. And so with that being said, if you're tuning in, you're listening to, yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We got to get back to the values. See, values don't have times or dates. Only we do. See, we want times and dates, but we got to get back to values. We got to get back to things that allow us to have economic empowerment. And it's not just about protesting, because I went out there and I protested, I shouted, I yelled, but at the end of the day, we still need economic empowerment. We still need to be able to say we own something. We still need to be able to say, hey, I have some value in something. I'm able to change the life in a certain situation. See, it's one thing for us to yell and shout, but it's a whole nother ball game when we own the buildings. We're not just leasing them. You know, I know so many people who plush out so many people's buildings, and if they decide that they want to sell it, guess what? There's nothing that you can do about it. So you can put all the chandeliers you want. You can do all the wallpaper you want. You can put up all the carpet you want. You can make it look like it's yours. But at the end of the day, you're just occupying a space. And see, the thing about economic empowerment, it means that we're going to have to really come together to get that black excellence that I talked about earlier. See, that requires you to put your guard down and not look at one another as your enemy. And it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be enemies that look like you and I, because there are some chicken Georges out here. There are some people out here that look like you and me that don't want to see you succeed, that probably won't ever change, that are cool and good. Long as they got theirs, you go get yours. There's going to be people out here like that. And unfortunately, there are going to be people out there that look like you and me because they've already secured their bag and they like, nah, I don't want to invest in that. And that's okay. That's okay. And the thing about it is that we are in a season right now that's the realest season of our lives. This is not the Freaknik. COVID-19 is still out there. This is not a time for us to be reckless and hanging out at Exodus and level 2. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I know I'm probably going to step on some toes, but it's okay. You'll be okay. I didn't cut them off. I just stepped on them. The thing about it is that it's not an opportunity for us to get out here and hang out and just have a good time and be willy-nilly. Because if you're not careful, you'll end up with the very thing that you're trying to avoid because you want to go have a good time. See, during the 90s, the Freaknik, they'd get out there and they did what they wanted. They taped, they loved, they sexed, they did everything they wanted to do. They act like there was no tomorrow. But there was a tomorrow. And if truth be told, some of you all that's 40 and 50 and 60 years old, had there been an Instagram or Facebook back then, you'd probably be ashamed of yourself. Some of you all probably hope a tape don't get out. Hope that somebody doesn't find out some of the skeletons that have been hidden in your closet that's been buried down. This is a time of supply and demand. Because while we partying and parlaying and hanging out and having fun, other ethnicities are coming up with plans and strategies on how to protect their family, how to create economic growth, how to create and keep that distance between the wealthy and the poor. Because that gap is very big and it's going to get bigger. And at the end of the day, we're going to try to figure out what in the hell happened. How did it happen? Where was I at? Oh, you was partying. You was down at the club. You was in Greek town turned up. You was spending your money on bundles and shoes and clothes when you could have been going to go start a business or invest or get a license, a real estate license, or go get something that's going to help change your life. Because wearing Jordans doesn't change your life. It doesn't make you run faster. It doesn't make you run higher, jump higher. It doesn't do none of that. It don't have no special powers. But you don't mind paying $250 when that is 6 business licenses for $50. 5 business licenses. That money that you could have taken could have started you a business, opened up a bank account. But we keep giving our money away to everybody else but our own people. And then we look at each other as if we're the enemy. Black Lives Matter is not just a chant that we just say because that's the cool thing to do. Black lives matter because they actually matter. They matter enough to know that we are the #1 consumers in this world. Not just in this country, in this world. Your dollar has power, but it doesn't have any power if you don't know that it does. See, you know that you want to look fly, you want to look sweet, you want to live your life like it's golden. But in order for you to do that, there are going to be some levels. And the thing about it is that you're going to have to change some of your values and how you look and spend your money. I know it's going to be a challenge. I know it's going to be difficult. But I'm telling you something. Habits form in a day. And they can change within 21 days. Just like some of you who started smoking cigarettes and you had to learn to quit. Some of you had to learn, okay, I'm going to have to put this hamburger down and pick up this dumbbell. Some of you had to learn, okay, I don't really like washing dishes, but I want me a new house. And in order for me to do that, and I'm the only one here, I'm going to have to wash these dishes. You're going to have to change some of those ways and some of those habits. And yeah, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. But growth is uncomfortable. You don't see a baby, a grown man still walking around with a diaper. If you do, he needs to be in an insane asylum. Because at a point in your life, you got to stop treating yourself like a baby and eating baby food and start eating steak with the big girls and the big boys. You say you grown, you say you about it, you say you doing this, that, and the third. Well, let's see. Put your money where your mouth is. And the thing about it is that when you put your money where your mouth is, you're able to get that love that you want. You're able to build that life that you're looking to build. And you're able to put yourself in position. It's a lot of you who want to talk about prison reform. Some of you have cousins that are in prison right now. They ain't changed nothing. They ain't changed nothing. While we out here being able to social distance, in the prisons, they're not. Some of your family, cousins, brothers, sisters, aunts, they're suffering, and they're not gonna put the camera at the prisons. And don't get me wrong, I like Big Gretch. We have a great relationship. But salt also looks like sugar. And if you're not careful, you'll get a whiff of both. At the end of the day, we're black. And the last time I checked, just because you put on a pair of buffs does not make you an African American. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Because when you really want change and you really want to be effective when you're in a leadership position, you'll do what you need to do to make sure that that happens. Prison is the #1 enslavement, and it's free labor. It's free. Who really checking for our black brothers and sisters in prison that's making jeans for Levi's and making shoes and it's free. It's free. Yeah, that's why they move them all the way to the Upper Peninsula, all the way far out, not close to the cities in which they come from, because they don't want you to be able to communicate with your family like you should. They want you to forget about your uncles and your aunts and your brothers. My brother, he get on my nerves. He called me every day. But I'm grateful because it keeps me abreast about what's going on. Because they already killed one brother in there. And so at the end of the day, it's not about just relax, relate, release. I remember that episode with Claire Huxtable and why I call her Claire Huxtable, Felicia Rashad and her sister Debbie Allen. And this particular episode, Debbie Allen was doing what she does, dance teacher. And she was teaching Claire to relax, relate, release because she was trying to lose this weight to get into this dress. And see, when you're determined, there is nothing that can stand in your way. Nothing. No depression can stand in your way. No suicidal thoughts can stand in your way. And if you're tuning in, we're talking about what's next. When you are determined, and many of us are from the D. We're determined individuals. We've been through the trenches. We've dealt with the disappointments. But at the end of the day, we got to do more than just protest. We got to do more than just post up hashtags and post up pictures. You know, it's not enough for us to keep throwing on to these parties for everybody to be drunk and subject to being arrested, subject to being attacked. When do we get to the point where we are empowering one another? If all the party promoters turned around and did workshops and conferences and seminars and packed those out, instead of the white party, we could have the wealth party. But we're too busy getting drunk and getting high that we can't pay attention to what's happening in our world. Sometimes you're going to have to put the blunt down so that you can focus. Or pick the blunt up so that you can focus. And at the end of the day, there are so many of us that miss our mark. We miss our mark because we allow substance abuse to now be the main focus of our lives. We can't think without a drink. We get upset. We got to make sure that we smoke. And see, when Claire Huxtable was on this particular episode, she wanted to get in this dress. She wanted to get in this dress so bad, and she had to lose a certain amount of weight to get in this dress. And she was determined. She was eating carrots and celery. And she was doing all this stuff. And Bill Cosby, shout out to Bill, black man that they wanted to keep right here. This man wanted to buy a station that would have changed the trajectory of how we watch TV. And don't get it twisted. I am not condoning any man or woman drugging another person to get sexual pleasures. But you also got to understand the time frame in which that happened. Everybody was doing cocaine. Everybody was doing pills and all kind of crazy stuff. And this black man was in power. He was in leadership. He was changing the trajectory of black lives and families and how they saw themselves. It was different from watching the Jeffersons moving on up. It was different from watching 227, women living in an apartment building. It was a intelligent black family that had multiple melanin, and every last episode was about something of substance. And when you take somebody that looks like you and me who start making changes and having substance in the lives of the people that look like you and I, they want to shut that down. They'll only let you get so far and so far ahead that this is why it's so important for us to not look at each other as enemies, but as allies. And when you start looking at each other as allies, you start praying for different things. That's why, people say, not my will, but your will, God. Because you'll start praying for certain things. I used to pray, Lord, help me be wealthy. Lord, help me be rich. Now it's, Lord, allow my impact to match my income. Because when you start focusing on the impact, the things that you want to do, the things that you want to create, the lives that you want to change, God will bless that. You remember how I talked about earlier, 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold blessings if you hear what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, some people are going to take this episode, they're going to rewatch it, they may watch it, they may take that information, or they may not. But see, the thing about changing the trajectory of the black family comes from hearing, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. That is more wealthier than any Jordan that you can buy. That is more important than any Yeezy on your feet. That is more important than any cable TV. Because if truth be told, that's the problem. Turn that idiot box off and open a book. But we don't want to do that because it's boring. Some of you all don't expand your mind. That's why it was easy for all of us Negroes to come from the South up north to get a job at a plant, because that allowed you to be right where you were at. It didn't take much to put a bolt to a screw and tighten it. It didn't take much to put a wheel to a car and bolt it. It didn't take you to think. See, inventors, entertainers, scientists, those people had to think. They had to use their brain. But if I can keep you right here, if I can keep you in the projects, if I can keep you thinking that these things are more important than this, then I can keep your ethnicity and your culture right where I need you to be, right here. I can give you enough to get a little far ahead, but I won't give you a lot because I don't want you to have more than me. And if you really want the truth to be told, we all could be millionaires. But it's about the desire. And it's about changing the mindset. It's about changing your habits. It's about not just feeling it, not just faking it, but feeling it. You don't want to feel it to fake it. And see, some of us, we've been faking this for so long, we don't even know who we are. So when you see a woman like me, you're intimidated. You get jealous. And see, the thing about true leadership is it inspires those that are also true leaders and good followers. It intimidates other leaders that mean no good, because now you see right through them. See, I can see people, and I meet people all the time, and I can see right through them. I can see what they're trying to build, if it's for the clout. I can see what they're doing and what they're saying, if it's just to be seen. I can look at a person, and they don't even have to say a word, and my spirit man has already told me more about you before you even open up your mouth. But in order for me to have gotten to that point, I had to be able to commune with God and have that real relationship, because real recognize real on any given block. From the White House to the courthouse and in between. I'm good in every hood. I'm good in every boardroom. And it's because I've learned to speak the lingo. When you learn to speak the language, you have a better chance of survival. It's like a person who talks about a portfolio. And I'm not talking about pictures. Because see, the first thing that comes to mind when you think about a portfolio is a picture. But I'm talking about your economic financial portfolio, your life insurance, your health insurance, your stocks, your bonds, your shares. See, now, because you don't speak the lingo, you don't understand what I'm saying. When we're talking about mortgage, when we're talking about being financially literate, understanding that it's more than taking your check and going to the check cashing place. It's more than getting your check and depositing it in your account. Now we're making some changes. Now we're making some impact. And so there are some people that say, well, Jaja, I just want to get my money, live my little life, and do my thing. And that's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Do you? But what you fail to realize is that you doing you not doing you, it still has an impact. Because when we don't do what we're supposed to do, we don't have any grocery stores. We don't get no gas stations. Everybody can't own a restaurant. Somebody else gonna have to have a janitorial service. Everybody can't own a beauty shop. Somebody's gonna have to do some other stuff. We need some auto shops. We need some hotels. Roberts Riverwalk can't be the only black hotel in the city and state of Michigan, in Detroit. We're going to have some other people do some other things. Everybody can't be an artist, a rap artist, a singer. Somebody's going to have to own a record company. Somebody's going to have to be in charge of A&R. There are other things that you can do. Don't just limit yourself to saying, okay, this is as far as I can go. Because that, you end your life before it even starts. Everybody can't be an athlete. Somebody is going to have to be a scout. Somebody's going to have to be a sports manager. Somebody's going to have to be a lawyer and understand the contracts for these athletes so that way they're not being shortened by their money. Everybody can't be on TV and be a talk show host. Somebody's going to have to be an audience. And you're going to have to clap and not be a hater and sit with your face scrunched up. Because everybody's purpose and lane is different. Just like the horse that I talked about. When that horse is jumping out that stable and that gun pops and they open that door, the only thing that horse should be thinking about is winning. Is getting that rabbit around that track. Getting to that vision around that track. That's the only thing that we should be focused on. I ain't worried about getting laid. Because if I want to get laid, I can go find Joe Blow up the street. Right now, I'm tunnel vision. I got my blinders on. I'm chasing that rabbit. And not because I want the money. I want the impact. The income comes with the impact. And it doesn't mean that you got to be an entrepreneur to make that impact. We need more professionals in corporate worlds. We need more bankers. We need more bank managers. We need more banks. First Independence Bank shouldn't be the only black bank in the city of Detroit. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't have to be. Shouldn't have to be. But when everybody's chasing the same pot, in the same industry, in the same profession, it's easier for other ethnicities to slide into home base. Because guess what? Ain't nobody else trying to do it. So then you think about, okay, what is it that I want to do? What's my purpose? How do I figure that out? And the thing about it is that our world is really small. Can you think about that? I mean, think about it. How is it that COVID-19 got across the world? The world. In other countries. In other states, in other continents. The world can't be that big if hundreds of thousands and millions of people were infected by one virus. That is an indication that the world is not as big as we think it is. Think about it. You get on a flight, you fly somewhere. How long does it take to get there? Hours, maybe a day if you're going to Dubai or you're going across the country, 24 hours at the max. You think about how quickly life can change in the blink of an eye. How you can end up dating somebody and then they end up knowing your auntie or your cousin, or they went to school with such and such, and then you get to talking and now you find out that y'all grew up down the street from each other and your mama was friends with their mama and your uncle knew their uncle. This world is not as big as they want to make it seem. This is one of the reasons why I'm going after my rabbit, which is media. Because media and entertainment is what we hold on to. It's what we look forward to. Anybody gets home off work, they do the first thing they do. They grab them a drink and they watch some TV. They grab them a drink and they watch some TV. They ain't think about nothing else other than I want to get me a beverage. Why we don't got no liquor stores, black people? We the ones always popping Hennessy bottles and Moet bottles and Douce bottles. Why we don't got no liquor stores? What? I mean, I'm sure some of y'all qualify for a liquor license. Even if you don't plan on getting a liquor store, how about just go apply for a liquor license before they change any of the licensing requirements? It's only a thought. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add more to it. Make sure you share this video. We're talking about what's next. And the thing about it is that you can't be a 50-50 split in order for people to take you seriously. You can't be over here 1 minute, over here the next, over in this group, over in that group, you in this clique, you in that clique. Because if you ever went to prison, they'll kill you. They'll kill you. They don't do all that clique hopping. Stick to your lane, stick in your crew. It doesn't mean that you don't know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. And a lot of people know me. But I'm not cliquey. I don't have this group and that group and this group and this group. I just know a lot of people. And you got to learn to utilize the people for what you need to utilize them for. And the thing about it is that once you learn how to maneuver in life without having to have a bunch of friends around and a bunch of people around, and you got to have a crew and a clique and fellas, you learn to be a man on your own without having to be with your crew and stand on your own 2 feet and look at yourself in the eye. That's why people couldn't wait to get outside, because you don't know how to deal with yourself. A lot of us are walking tsunamis. And we have so much that's been brewing inside of us that we have not attacked it. We have not talked about it. We have not dealt with it. We have not gotten over it. And because we're not going to get over it, we're going to keep running into those same brick walls. And that's the challenging part. That's the part that's going to hinder us. And the thing about it is that my path is international. Your path may be local. You may say, well, Jaja, I ain't trying to do all of that. I'm just trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. And that's okay. That's your path. But don't ever downplay your goal in life because you don't feel like you're there yet. None of us have arrived. And when we arrive, we still got to keep fighting to stay there. Oprah Winfrey is a multi-billionaire. But she got to keep being innovative in order for her to maintain her multi-billions. In order for you to maintain your billions, there are some things that you're going to have to do. And at the end of the day, none of us look like what we've been through. None of us. And we oftentimes have to disguise some of those challenges that we've had to face. We have to deal with some of those disappointments that we've had to go through. Because the thing about it is that a lot of us had a lesser road traveled. There's some roads that we haven't traveled, and there's some roads that we have. And the thing about it is that the knowledge that you've received, it's up to you to teach it. Our generation don't even know how to fill out an envelope, fill out a money order. They know how to play an app. They know how to Snapchat. They know how to create a video and a TikTok. But do you know about time management? Do you know about investments? Do you know how to maneuver through life without a phone? Because at the end of the day, if they decide to cut social media out, charge for social media, or create blockages, because they've already changed the anesthetics. I mean, not the anesthetics, but they've already changed the algorithms. They've already made it where, you know, certain people can see certain things at a time. So it's only a matter of time that that's coming. And artificial intelligence is here. It's here. They already got robots making hamburgers, replacing people. So you know those little plant jobs that we came and migrated from the south up north for? They're getting ready to start replacing you with robots. So guess what? I don't have to pay. I don't have to pay you. I don't have to give you life insurance or health insurance. I can go get number 5. I can go get number 5. And number 5 is going to make this car just like they would if you were there. They ain't talking back. They ain't asking for a break. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's about to get really real. Because at the end of the day, if I can cut costs and I can make my bottom line and I don't have to pay you, I don't have to deal with your attitude. A robot don't ask for a bathroom break. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm adding more to it. So while you thinking your job is secure, at any given moment, you can be replaced with a robot. And that's just real talk. And so the thing about maneuvering in life is when it's all said and done and you meet your matchmaker, what will people say about you? What does your obituary look like? What can you say that you've accomplished, that you've tried, that you've failed at, that you've loved, that you've liked, that you've hated? What will that look like? Because at the end of the day, you can't take nothing that you brought into this world with you when you leave. What will your obituary look like? What will you be remembered for? And true leadership comes from the heart. When you want to make peace with people and live a life that's peaceful and blessed, you don't find ways to destroy others. You find ways to uplift others and build others and do things that are ethical, that will make a difference. I just signed up to be a life insurance agent, not just because I want to get some money, but because I'm tired of having to have GoFundMes for people and all they got to do is pay less than a movie ticket for life insurance. When, if something were to happen to them, nobody has to put money together. No, you know, one of the most gut-wrenching and heartfelt things that happened was when my brother was killed in prison, we had to literally come up with money to have his funeral. I had just opened up my shop, Detroit Lash Lounge. My sister had just got her job. My other sister, she didn't really have no money for real. She had a little bit of tools and fuse. But the fact of the matter is that was something that is unexpected. COVID-19 came and it's still here and it's killed hundreds of thousands of people that you never would have imagined has left this earth. And 75% of them didn't have life insurance. 100% of them left here with debt. 90% of them probably didn't anticipate them dying no time soon. They thought they could beat it. And the thing about life is, we don't know how it'll turn out, especially when you have people that are in position that are okay with squishing you like an ant, because that's how they see us. A bunch of ants that can be reproduced. And if we put our Black excellence hat on and really choose to empower one another, not just in a position where we're boosting each other, but we're putting each other in economic positions where we're empowered, we can change the trajectory of our culture. And now we'll really be doing it for the culture. And we won't just be chanting Black Lives Matter, because we'll be in positions where Black lives will matter. We need more judges. We need more chiefs of staffs. We need more positions and people in position to make sure we're good. Some of y'all like telling people what to do anyway. Sign up to be a correction officer or a sheriff or a deputy. They got jobs, plenty of them. Those are essential workers. So I said all that to say, make sure that you discipline yourself, because sometimes being under construction may be chaotic, but it builds character. It's nothing like a road being torn down so that it can be paved properly. This is the season to pave your life properly. 2020 has came and wrecked everything. It's changed everything. Now it's time to lay down the groundwork and let's make it smooth. Let's make this thing smooth. We've already had it hard enough from other ethnicities. Let's not make it hard for each other no more. Make that your due diligence. To let's find ways to be each other's puzzles, pieces to our puzzles. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add more to it. I love y'all. Until next time, peace.